Well, hello, and thank you for checking out my video. Hey, I wanted to show you that there's more scope and depth to my collections rather than just military and antiques and some of the general items you find normal resellers selling. It goes deeper into antiquities, which I've put a lot of time into studying. Um, and what I have here is a 1,000-year-old strand of money beads or wampum, whichever you want to call it. Money beads were the popular term used around California in which these were found. Now, of course, it's not strand on the original string that it came on. It was a museum purchase with the provenance I got from an auction company in Santa Cruz. Everything checked out on them. 1,000 years old, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, these are polished shell. They would have come from um, some type of a round type snail. I don't know off the top of my head what the name of the snail was. But we see some of these whoa, sorry, let me get it focused. Some have a couple thinner holes. I am sorry for the bad focusing. I won't run through here and look at all of them, but some of them have double holes, which is common. And you'll see some that's kind of hanging a little funny like this one. And there was a reason to these. Some of these, when they taught this, yeah, see, there's another one there. Since they made these for currency, they tried to make them as uniform as possible. I mean, there are going to be size variations, some bigger, like you can see here, some smaller. Like I said, this isn't on the original strand, but this is one long strand. Um, but again, they're made out of, seashells, but they'd be sea snails found around the coast. Um, I'm believing, since the location that I was told they were found, they could be from the Chumash tribe. There's some tribes. There was quite a few tribes in California that were spread out, but there was two tribes, and I forget one of the islands off the coast of California that was uh, by the Los Angeles area where the tribe would have been, and they spread all the way out to the Mojave and Santa Barbara areas, which would have been about right for these, and Santa Cruz. But these went all across. These were traded everywhere as the tribes traveled. Um, and I think, okay, I lost my train of thought for a moment because I'm so excited about these. Um, but you'll see some again that'll have like the small extra hole, and some of them that'll hang off, and they're not completely drilled uh, properly. There was a couple on here, and I think I showed one before, but I've restarted this video a couple times because it just wasn't right. But some of them won't fit properly. Some of them will hang down when you lift it up, and it's like there's a hole that's closer to the edge, and they're not centered properly. There we go. Right there's one. When they were teaching their children how to make these, they had my dog likes them too. What they had was their kids. They would teach their kids how to do it, and since these were so valuable, after they would cut them into these small pieces, and she thinks my wife is home. Um, they would cut them into the smaller pieces and have them practice drilling the holes. Now, rather than have them mess up this many beads by making the holes like this, imperfections in their eyes, um, they would just have them practice on the same bead over and over again. So that one's probably going to have a second bead, but then they went ahead and used them anyways. But sometimes you'll find them with two holes, the main hole plus one off to the side like this, or you'll find them with three holes. And again, that was just to teach them how to drill fine holes without ruining the project. And they were all used, but I've seen several strands of these on like hand-drawn photos, since of course we didn't have any photographs of actual indigenous people then, just how they would have worn them. And that was through archaeology and the studies and the sites that they've excavated. But these are nice items. They're going to stay in my collection. And when I talk about native items that I collect, it's items like this. It's the trade beads. It's stone axes, tomahawk heads, things through the fur trade era. And I pretty much stop after that unless it's some kind of cool jewelry. But I do have some American Indian in my ancestry from a Cherokee tribe. And I know that's popular for light-skinned people to say, but my grandmother was half Cherokee. Her mother was full Cherokee. And her family was on the Dawes list, so I can claim tribal affiliation, but I don't want to. That's best left for the ones who really deserve it. But yeah, anyways, so it's not like, these are going to be disrespected. They were, like, again, in a museum at one time. And I have several other strands of different types of glass beads, kinds that came from England and Russia, because Russia was in California at one time as well, Spanish, and a lot of others. So people that say California or the United States doesn't have as rich a history as Asia or Europe, they're just a little bit off, because there's a very rich history here still in California. So we're to show these off. Think about it. Just think a moment about it. 1,000 years ago is when these were made, and they've been around. No telling how far they traveled, if they traveled anywhere. I know for sure they traveled from Los Angeles to the Sierra Nevada mountains, so they made that trip. But think of the person who might have worn these 1,000 years ago. It's kind of hard to think of, when we have all this stuff going on today. Wonder what people will say about our jewelry and items that we have now, if they last 1,000 years from now, if we last. But just think about it. Like I said, my collections go a bit deeper than your general just antiques. These were pretty old. I have a lot of 1,000-year-old items or older. Maybe in a little while, I have a very nice trade axe that is authentic down to the handle of it, the haft of it. So we'll show that next. It's pretty interesting. And I have some native baskets and some bowls and all that. So these will not be for sale. These are going to be going with some other items. And that will pretty much do it. Hey, why don't you join me again for my next videos? Please like and subscribe. And if you thought these were interesting and you want to see more interesting videos, let me know in the chats. I've been thinking about doing some live feeds, kind of like a hangout thing, maybe showing and discussing some antiques and collectibles, just small topics. I don't know how many people would actually show up to it, but I think it'd be cool to try at least. So anyways, like and subscribe. And while you're at it, go check out the January House auctions. It's Mike and John. Mike has the other channel, the January House. Check him out. Just finished an auction just a while ago. Got some cool items from him. We'll have a video about probably in a week or so when they arrive. They ship in get things to you pretty quick. Then also check out my good friends Rob and Karen on the Bargain Barons, and they have a second channel called BB Clips, shorter versions of their longer picking adventures, and they're in Saskatchewan, Canada, uh, little town of Regina. Really, really nice down to earth people. They've given me a lot of help with YouTube, and they've just been real good. I've been a subscriber for over 4 years, and had some really good times on their channel and their live chats. So again, check those guys out. Bargain Barons and the January House auction. Also, Global Voodoo. He has good auctions. He's got a thrift store now, so he has stories about all that. Really good people. Uh, and I don't say that about everybody, but these are really good people I mentioned. Check out their sites also, like and subscribe. Tell them Bear Flag Mercantile sent you. Thanks. We'll see you on down the road.